Hello to my non-existent audience, or should I say near non-existent audience. It is I, Luca, here to rant once more into maybe not exactly the void, but the void adjacent to my, like I said, 30 subscribers. Let's see if the number ever goes up, but whatever. I'm not doing this really for the audience. I'm just really doing this as an excuse to talk to myself without coming off as completely insane to myself. So, I don't know. Maybe I should just talk to myself. Not sure why I have to record this, but I guess part of me wants to see what happens out of this, even though, let's be realistic, I don't feel like much is going to come out of this. Anyways, whatever. I digress. Here I am, talking to my tiny number of people in my audience. And speaking of numbers, that's actually kind of what I wanted to rant about today. I wanted to rant about how I've noticed that we kind of live in a tyranny of numbers. How essentially, well, not just a tyranny of numbers, but specifically we live in kind of a tyranny of big numbers. That sort of big numbers are just kind of what determines the value of just about everything in mainstream social standards. Like, just to start off, like with this, the value of my channel is low as fuck because I have a tiny number attached to it. I only have 30 subscribers. I only have, barely any views of my videos. Therefore, my channel has tiny number, and by default, it is worth. So, fair enough. It is what it is. I literally haven't posted on anything in this channel for 16 years. Aside from the video I did yesterday, and the shit that I did post before that was just cringy ass high school videos that I did. So I can't really be Can't really be surprised that I have such a small number attached to my videos, to my channel. But I just think it's strange how, like, on the flip side, but like whatever, it is what it is. I'm not salty about that. It totally makes sense. But on the flip side, I just find it weird that, like, what's considered to be a successful YouTube channel by comparison is just one that has massive numbers attached to it. Like, that's automatically just what success is. You got a big number, you're successful. And on some level that is true. Like, you are successful as far as popularity goes and monetary value goes. But I think that there's just, like, something deeper to that. Like, there's, like, a validity that comes with that. That, like, there's something intrinsically more worthwhile if somebody's got a big following. That popularity somehow validates something, even if it really doesn't necessarily deserve that validation. Like, for instance, and I've noticed this as well, like, I've been kind of forcing myself lately to, like, watch a lot of, like, really small, obscure YouTube channels and even subscribe to them, give them a like. I mean, channels that are not as tiny as mine, but still really small ones. And I've noticed there's, like, this part of my brain, like this reptile part of my brain that's just like, oh, they've got a tiny number of subscribers. They're automatically, like, less valid. Like, what they've got to say is, like, not as worthwhile as, like, another channel that has, like, 100,000 plus subscribers. Like, if they don't have, like, in the thousands of subscribers, then their just opinion is somehow just gonna be worth less. And I always catch myself thinking that. I'm like, that doesn't make any fucking sense. Like, why would somebody having a smaller channel automatically mean that they're just, like, less knowing or less knowledgeable, less legitimate? It doesn't make any sense whatsoever, especially when you consider, like, how a lot of the biggest channels on YouTube are utter crocks of, like, vapid horse shit. I mean, not all of them, for sure. Like, there's definitely some really incredibly successful, talented people on YouTube that 100% deserve their success. They put a lot of hard work and have great content. But there's some people that are like, I mean, I always go back to, like, thinking, like fucking Jake Paul is super successful. I'll give him that he's a talented boxer. I can't take that away from him. But, like, his content before that was just fucking dog shit. Like, it's crap. I know it's popular as hell, but, like, it's fucking terrible. But yeah, but it's got a big number attached to it. Therefore, it's legitimized. Whatever. I'm coming off as very salty right here because, let's face it, I am kind of salty about it. I wouldn't mind having his numbers of subscribers. Of course I would. Who wouldn't? Dude's wealthy as shit. But that's another thing too. Wealth. Having a job. What's considered the most valuable jobs? The jobs that have the big numbers attached to them. And I'm talking about the big financial numbers. That's right. What kind of jobs do most people aspire to? They aspire to the jobs that pay them the most money. It's always considered secondary, if not even considered at all, how much of an actual tangible benefit your job provides to society and to other people. That's always like a totally secondary concern. If you had a bullshit job that really doesn't do anything good or even does something actively shitty, but it gives you big number as far as finances go, that's considered a better job than a job that, pays next to nothing but actually does something that's tangibly worthwhile. I mean, it's why, like, there's like a shame attached to like somebody being like a waiter. It's because that shit pays minimum wage. I mean, obviously there's like a legitimate, practical concern about the fact that if you have a minimum wage job, it's going to be a lot harder to fucking fund your own lifestyle. But there's also like that social stigma of like, oh, I've got a job that has a small number attached to it, therefore it's a shitty job. It's like, I don't agree. Like, I personally have a lot more respect for somebody who's a waiter than I do for somebody like Elon Musk. The guy who's got the biggest financial number attached to him of anybody in the world, at least officially. I mean, there's some speculation that there could be some unofficial zillionaires out there, but officially speaking, Elon Musk is the fucking king of the big financial number. The thing is, though, I think that a waiter provides more of a tangible benefit to society than he does. So therefore, I value their job more than Elon Musk's job. Because Elon Musk is a fucking con artist. And he's an active benefit, not benefit, Jesus, the opposite. He's an active detriment to society with his huckster-ass bullshit ways. I mean, a lot of people like who defend him want to like cite the companies that he's associated with, but I think if anything, those companies would be better off with him being removed. I think the dude is literally just a blood-sucking, cancerous leash of financial exploitation. And the fact that he has such a big number is just a testament to how much of a fucking parasite he actually is. I don't think that him having a big number shows that his job is worth more. I think if anything, it just shows how much. It's just a score indicating what a goddamn detriment he is to the financial coffers of civilization. The fact that he's literally hoarding resources. He's hoarding financial resources. His like why is but people like keep going with this chimp brain mentality. Not everybody, but a lot of people go with this chimp brain mentality of like, oh yes, Elon have big number. He have big financial number. We must respect man with big financial number. Elon have most bananas. Yes, most coconuts. Bow to Elon. It's some caveman dumbass brain shit where it's just like, oh, he have most coconuts. He big man with most coconuts. And it's like, yeah, you're worshiping this motherfucker with all his coconuts while not paying attention to the fact that this dude hoarding all the coconuts is keeping you from eating the coconuts yourself. So, why the fuck are you respecting this guy? Fuck him. Genuinely. You're like, these people are respecting this guy and praising him for being a professional coconut hoarder while they're, showing disrespect to the person who would serve you coconut milk at the coconut restaurant, like as in the waiter and stuff like that. I don't know if I made my point here, but I don't know. I just find that shit very disturbing to me. That it's like the best jobs are always the jobs with the big financial number attached to it, not about the intrinsic, actual, tangible worth and benefit that job provides to society. Anyways, it's not just that is sort of governed by numbers in a disturbing way. It's other social trends as well. Like kind of, for instance, like when it comes to dating, and I'm just speaking from like a guy's perspective, what is considered to be like an optimal dating life? It's a guy who has had a big number of women that he slept with. I don't know how it is in the gay community. Maybe that's like a thing as well. But again, I'm just speaking from my heterosexual male perspective. But that's like intrinsically considered to be like, yes, optimal dating life. Man who fucked a lot. Big number. Yeah. It's all quantity and not quality. Like, it's almost considered kind of lame by a lot of guys if like a dude wants to aspire to have deep, intimate, meaningful, long-term connections with a small handful of women or even just like one woman. It's more idolized to be a player, to be a guy who's, doesn't wear his feelings on his sleeve, who is able to play the game effectively, able to bag a lot of women and get a big number. Just get that body count up. Whoever's got the higher score. I mean, it's literally just a fucking game. And never mind the fact that like at the end of the day, it's literally just a vapid action of just no intrinsic deeper worth. It's just like it sounds incredibly numbing and almost, I don't know if dystopian is the right word, but I don't know, a bit nightmarish. That it's just like, yes, I need to that you basically are just viewing somebody as another notch in your belt, that they're not really a real person anymore. It's just like, yes, can I accrue another bedpost notch in my belt? And that's basically what like is considered the optimal sexual existence for me, as a man. It's like, nah, dude, fuck that shit. I don't know, that kind of spills over into a lot of like socializing in general, not just like sexual stuff. I think that a lot of times people consider having like a large number of friends to be an optimal social life, but it's like I constantly think like if you've got 100 friends, you don't really have 100 friends. You have 100 acquaintances at best. Acquaintances at best, because like there's not enough hours in a day or years in a lifetime to form really, truly, deeply meaningful connections with 100 fucking people that you apparently know. I don't know. I feel like people kind of get this weird, and I've had this issue as well sometimes, this weird misconception that like there's almost unlimited time when there really isn't. Like, kind of if you, how would I say this? Like it's almost like if you stuff more stuff into your day, you've actually made a more optimal day. Like, rather than having a few things in your day is automatically a less optimal day, if that makes any sense. I don't know. But I like I said, I think that, okay, like just to go to the social interaction thing, it's like, if you have 100 friends, how often can you see each of those individual friends in your lifespan? Obviously much less than if you have like a very small amount of friends. So like, basically if 100 friends, you could see like one of those friends every once in a blue moon, like maybe once every month or couple months. Maybe you can see them in groups, but then you're gonna have to diffuse your attention to all those people in that group, and you're not gonna really get proper focus on that person. And like you're basically gonna be like only getting on a surface level thing with all these people, because you're just never gonna have the multiple iterations of interaction really get to know them on a deeper level. Like versus if you have like 5 friends, you can see that same friend over and over and over again, get to know them better and better and better, get deeper and deeper into like who they are as a person and they with you, and form something more meaningful than just like a passing like, oh, this person's almost just like a background character in my life. Hey, they're kind of entertaining. I'm just gonna have them here in this sort of background audience of my, life sitcom or whatever the fuck. I don't know if that makes any sense, but I don't know. I'm just kind of saying this because like I've known several people in my life who kind of have sort of giant, how would I say this? Sort of giant ensemble casts of friend groups, and it just seems so fucking vapid and exhausting to me, frankly, to just have these constant sort of slew of people you interact with, and just constantly interacting with new people, or like not even new people, but like people you just don't really form much of a bond with, and I don't get the appeal of that to me. It just doesn't make it almost strikes me as like somebody going to a buffet and only getting like little samples of each possible item on display, rather than like sitting down and committing to like a big proper meal. And it's like the more you sort of diffuse your appetite into like this buffet, it's like, oh, okay, so I could either sit down and have a full hearty meal of only like 3 different items, or I can go have 100 items, but because of my appetite only has so much to it, I'm gonna get like one piece of every single item. I mean, if that suits you, so be it. But for me personally, it's like, nah, I'd rather just be satiated with 3 things that really satisfy me than go around and just sample fucking everything. It's kind of like, better example would be like Bertie Bott's every flavored beans from Harry Potter. It's kind of like, oh, I'm just gonna have like a variety for variety's sake. Even, like, let's negate the fact that like, some of those beans are gonna be fucking puke flavored, some of them are gonna be like snot flavored, whatever the hell. Some of them are gonna be sweet, but it's like, wouldn't you rather just have like a bag of like 3 different flavors that are all nice and duplicates of each other than have like just a variety for variety's sake bag of just like, oh. Anyways, I think I've made my point with this. But I don't know, this whole like numbers thing too, just how everything is just all about optimal numbers, like it spills over into like so much other shit as well. I mean, going back to jobs, it's kind of what determines your qualifications for a job. And I mean, I get it on some level because that's just the system we're in, but it's still pretty creepy to me that that's sort of what is considered to make you a more worthwhile potential employee. And that's, how many years of experience do you have at a job? And you put that in your resume, coupled with how many separate jobs you've been to. It's like that is your worth as an employee in society. It's not about like necessarily how good you performed at your job, how dedicated you are. I mean, again, it's hard to measure that shit, especially now that a lot of hiring processes are like AI governed. But there's just something so eerily dystopian about the fact that you're basically just boiled down to a number with numbers within your number. You're just one number of an applicant fighting with other numbers of applicants, and whoever has the biggest number of years experience, biggest number of possible recommendations in their job references and stuff like that, that's the optimal one. It's all just numbers. It's very robotic, actually. It's all just big number, big number, big number. You can get this job. I don't know if I've made any sense with that one. I don't know. I mean, that sort of just spills into so many other things, just like even our just moral code, ideological code. It's all just governed by big numbers. Like, whatever is considered normal, it's not necessarily right by any fucking means at all. It's just what the biggest number of people agree on as being normal. That's it. Normalcy is just majority rules, nothing more. I mean, slavery used to be considered normal, you know? It was even like normal to just go and kill somebody if they offended you back in the day. I mean, dueling was considered a normal thing, and nowadays people would be like, that's fucking insane. Oh, this person insulted me, I'm gonna shoot them with a pistol? Like, huh? But that was normal back then, because the majority of people agreed, like, yeah, if somebody offends me, yeah, fuck them, I'm just gonna shoot him with a pistol. I mean, we'll at least have a civil duel, but like, oh, they'll be considered to be very shameful if they just decline my duel. So therefore, they're almost like socially pressured to go and do this dumbass thing about, oh, they insulted me, I'm gonna have to murder them, or they're gonna have to murder me because, oh, they offended my honor. And that was considered like fine because the majority of people thought it was fine back then. And now majority of people think that that's fucking crazy. So it's not normal anymore. And I just often think about like how much stuff nowadays are we doing that's considered, normal. When the majority of people suddenly change their view on things is going to be considered abnormal. And there's a lot of stuff I think. I don't know. I mean, I always go to, I don't want to like come off as like a fucking, lay Reddit atheist or anything like that, but I do often think about how if most world religions were just followed by a small number of people instead of a big number of people, their legitimacy would be completely just drained away. I mean, they'd be considered basically no less wacko than like any of these sort of like Jamestown cults or Waco, Texas cults, like stuff like that. I mean, maybe they're not as overtly death culty as they are, but the belief systems are just as fucking crazy as any of these cults are. Like, it's like anybody gonna really tell me that like the belief that like some random Jewish carpenter from 2,000 years ago ran around claiming to be the son of like God up in the clouds, and then said that he could die for every single bad thing humanity's ever done, and then come back as like a zombie a few days later, and then ascend up into the clouds to join with his sky daddy. Like, is that any less crazy than the belief systems that were like attached to that what was it, that Halley's Comet worshipping cult? That they believe that like, oh, some aliens in a comet were gonna come by, and that they just need to like basically kill themselves and have their souls go up to join up with that alien riding the comet. It's like, no, it's completely just as crazy. The only difference is Christianity has billions of followers, therefore it's considered legitimate and you have to respect it. And that's it. That's it. Anyways, I'm getting tired of talking. It's like the third or fourth time I tried to record this. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'll talk more about this later. But that's that, basically. I don't know. Just... that's the problem with democracy. That's why democracy is, it is better than tyranny, but it's still shit. Very shitty. It's just a little bit less shitty. But that's why democracy is still shit, because all that democracy means is that the majority agrees on something, but that doesn't make it right necessarily at all. Because the majority can be right, sure it can be, but it can just as easily be like fucking stupid. Like, you know, if the majority of people are stupid, then democracy is fucking stupid. And that's all there is to it. Anyways, I think I've had enough about that. To anybody who's gotten this far, thanks for watching. Feel free to like and subscribe, or leave a mean comment in my channel. Just fucking hate on me. I welcome hate as well. Just don't ignore me. Oh, I need validation. All right.